If you have been on social media for longer than a few days, then you will know that things are constantly changing and being updated, and new features are being released and implemented and rolled out, and it can be really hard to keep up with all of the change. I try my best to ignore a lot of the changes, even coming as someone who works in social media and likes to stay up to date on the trends, because a lot of them are very minor things that don't make a huge impact to you and to me. So while Instagram has been focusing a lot on engagement and tools for creators, I really only want to bring you things that I really think are impactful, or else I would be making one of these videos every single day about updates. So today I wanted to share with you just a few new things that I think are really interesting, potentially useful for you, potentially not useful. We'll see how they go, but they're all fairly new features or things that are being rolled out. So it's important to kind of keep an eye on things and see how you might want to adapt to use these new features. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Instagram poll feature. Now, engagement stickers like polls and quizzes have been around in Instagram stories for years, but they recently rolled out the ability to make a poll in your actual caption of your post. So as people are scrolling on their feed, they will see a poll at the bottom of your post caption. But it's pretty hidden. It's really small. A lot of people are not seeing it, missing it entirely. And of course, there's also the issue that features are rolled out over time and not always available in every location. So you might not even have this feature at all yet. But if you do, you will update your Instagram app, make sure it's newly updated. Whenever you go to make a new post, on the screen where you would type out your caption, there's a little poll button at the bottom of that caption section. If you tap on that, it will give you the ability to type in your question and then the answers that you want people to be able to choose from in your poll. I've tried this on 2 different accounts and both of them barely got any votes. Even my account with over 100K followers on it, people just really aren't seeing it yet or adapting to it yet. So I haven't really been seeing it used often by people I'm following either. So I think people are just not aware of it, not looking for it. Even in my most recent post, I said, vote in this poll at the bottom of my caption, but I have a feeling that a large chunk of people either aren't seeing it or the feature hasn't rolled out for them yet, so they're not seeing a poll and don't know what I'm talking about. So keeping an eye on this one, because I do think that being able to engage with your audience and ask them questions, but also do market research and ask your audience what they're looking for, what they're reading, things like that can be so beneficial to our social media content. But for right now, not super useful, not super helpful, but it's there for you if you want to give it a try. The next thing that I've seen Instagram start to roll out for a small percentage of creators is the ability to preview what your post is going to look like on your feed before posting it, for those who like to keep a similar aesthetic, a similar feed pattern going on. So if that's you, this could be a useful feature. I think Instagram has largely gotten away from your profile feed needs to be perfectly curated and every other post follows this certain pattern and look and color. Certainly you can do that if you would like to. For me, that really inhibited my creativity and prevented me from posting because I felt like I had to prescribe to this certain pattern or theme, and that's just not something that works for me, who more likes to not wing it. I post with a strategy in mind, but comes up with things and wants to post it versus having to wait for a certain day to post and things like that. So it's up to you and how that works for you, but I'll be keeping an eye on this because I think that it could be beneficial, not in the way of aesthetics and making sure things look aesthetically pleasing, but for things like making sure your text isn't cut off. A lot of people get this wrong and they'll put text too high or too low, or it's off to the side, especially with things like Reels. So I'll be interested to see if this feature helps people avoid that. So that way your feed not only looks aesthetically pleasing, but the cover images and things like that are not cut off, because that can also inhibit your views as well. The next thing I'm going to talk about is switching gears to TikTok, where they are trying to push some creators to post long horizontal videos. Now, I am trying not to roll my eyes at this because TikTok is not YouTube. YouTube is YouTube and very successful at being YouTube. And I don't really understand why TikTok is trying to be everything. They really are succeeding at the short form video game and the vertical video game. I'm not really sure why They are making a push for horizontal videos, but if you haven't seen this on your feed yet, there are some long horizontal videos being posted where you can actually full screen it and watch it full screen horizontally like you were watching a YouTube video. To me, one, I'm hoping this doesn't actually take off, but two, I think there's a lot of learning involved for the TikTok audience who is used to holding their phone like this, flipping through short videos. I just don't see, for me personally, a world where I want to do both on the same platform and be scrolling this way and then find a video I want to watch this way. It's just not seamless to me. And I really don't want TikTok to turn into a fully horizontal long form video platform because that's what I go to YouTube for. So I'm curious. I know that a lot of people are using TikTok like a search engine, like as if it were Google, and that's becoming more and more popular. I think that this is TikTok's way of leaning into that more. We know that keywords are important in our social media content. So the more that you can be specific and name your genre specifically, and name your niche, think about what your audience might be searching for to find your product. That's very important. And so I think this is just them leaning into that and knowing that people are searching for things and might be wanting to look for more thought out, long form video content on the platform. So what should you do about this? Well, for me, I personally will not be changing my TikTok strategy until I see it really is benefiting creators. I would love to hear your experience if you have been using long form video on TikTok, but try posting some longer form content, even if it is that vertical format, because they are pushing that as well. So if you have videos that are a minute or 2 minutes long, or you have a story that you want to tell that runs a little bit longer than a standard video, give it a shot. Keep in mind that you do really need to keep people's attention, because if you post a minute long video and people are only staying for a few seconds, that's not going to do any good for your views and your engagement. So cut out anything that's not needed, still make it really inviting and engaging and emotional to keep people's attention. I personally am not going to be creating new long form horizontal content for TikTok, but as you know and are watching right now, I have some long form YouTube content that I could potentially repurpose and try posting onto TikTok and see how it does in that long form format. If you have anything longer and horizontal already, maybe just give it a try. Again, it's still going to need a strong hook in the beginning. It's still TikTok. You still have to grab people's attention as they're scrolling. So keep that in mind whenever you do post something to the TikTok platform that might be longer form content. But I do think it's worth just giving it a try if it's something that you already have. And if it does do well, then that might be an indication for you to keep trying that style. And if you have my TikTok guide, the Book Talk Blueprint, or TikTok for Creatives, which is the Book Talk Blueprint, but for non-authors and other types of creatives, I will be making an update to that guide to represent the fact that they are pushing those horizontal videos, and keeping an eye on this for you and sending you that free update that any of my course customers get whenever there is an update to the course that you've bought. So keep an eye out for that. I don't have a deadline for that right now, but it'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. I will link that course in the description if you are interested in checking it out. I hope you enjoyed this quick social media updates video. I think they're fun to do sometimes and hopefully not overwhelming to you about changes. These are all little things that could potentially make a difference to you, or potentially not something that you need to focus on right now. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great week ahead, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.